This is Coffee with God, and I am Father Jose. Let us begin this day with the Word of God and a short reflection.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 5, verses 17 to 19. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Don't suppose for a minute that I have come to demolish the Scriptures, either God's law or the prophets. I'm not here to demolish, but to complete. I am going to pull it all together in a vast panorama. God's law is more real and lasting than the stars in the sky and the ground at your feet. Long after the stars burn out and earth wears out, God's law will be alive and working. Trivialize even the smallest item in God's law, and you will only have trivialized yourself. But take it seriously, show the way for others, and you will find honor in the kingdom. Unless you do far better than the Pharisees in the matters of right living, you won't know the first thing about entering the kingdom. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 to 19. Matthew's Gospel is primarily written for converts from Jewish backgrounds. Although they accepted the faith in Jesus and became part of the community, it was not easy for them to give up their Jewish practices and traditions. Hence, we find both Paul and Matthew go out of their way to assure the Jewish converts that Christianity is not a rejection of Judaism, but rather it's a continuation and a development from Judaism. So, in today's passage, which continues the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus solemnly assures his listeners that he has not come to terminate the law but to bring it to a higher level. To give a rough example, we could compare it to upgrading a computer by increasing its memory. It is still the same computer doing the same things, but better and faster. Jesus' vision helps us to see the law of the Old Testament in a completely different light. The church in modern times calls us to be ready to move forward with new ways of understanding our faith and living it out. Traditions are still valid. However, we must never be bogged down in them to the extent that we do not respond to the clear signs of the times. Traditions can be understood in two ways: either as a fundamental belief that existed from the beginning, or simply as a way of doing or understanding things that have been around for a long time. Christians of the present times are obsessed with the external observances of the laws and regulations. They become a source of scrupulosity and fear. The church in the present time faces the grave danger of divisions, as so many Catholics, including church leadership, have become fanatic about the rubrics of worship. They are on constant watch for anyone who deviates from the rubric. It is frightening to see the faithful fight one another on the streets in the name of the liturgy, and then go back to the same altar to celebrate the Eucharist of forgiveness and love. Many engage in heated arguments on social media, discussing the number of candles to be lit on the altar, whether or not to extend one's hands while praying the Lord's Prayer, whether to receive the Holy Communion in hand or on the tongue, the color of the shoes of the altar servers. The list goes on and on. In all things, our ultimate guide must be the law of love. A truly loving act can never be sinful, although at times it may violate the letter of the law.